Each moment I sit in this room, I can feel my resolve disappearing. I can see my crew's disappointment. I can see that I must replace a light bulb. Most of all, I can feel my treacherous ex-wives getting closer. All the while, the Chapeau Rouge taunts me from its hidden lair. Sponsored by Soylent Green. It's for people! My thoughts had become dark as the inky depths of the ocean, with my failed attempt to find my illegitimate father's Chapeau Rouge. I could picture his poor, tortured soul lamenting that he had not taught me more of the family trade. Perhaps then I could have summoned the required expertise to find this elusive fish. Since our last expedition, the Kalypso had fallen into disrepair, due in large part to Auguste still being epoxied to the engine, and the payment of my treacherous ex-wife Giselle's alimony. I had reluctantly begun the search for a supplemental crew member, a difficult task considering Auguste's innate mechanical talents, and our lack of funds. I was pleasantly surprised one day to receive an unsolicited call from Jean-Claude Cousteau. It would appear that there was an additional, long-lost, illegitimate son of Jacques Cousteau, and that our father got around. It would also appear that Poseidon was turning good fortune in our direction. Much like myself, Jean-Claude had grown up in a rural American setting, Bogalusa, Louisiana. Because of this geographical anomaly, his French was quite a bit better than mine, as well as his preparation of beignets. Oh, delicious beignets. Not quite a donut, but oh, so close. With the crew now complete and a new sponsor in place, we could proceed to Site 2 to begin our search anew. As you may remember from episode 1, we had to abandon this site when one of our sponsors inexplicably exploded. Our destination this time would be the Turks and Caicos. I had received reliable word that the Chapeau Rouge may have been seen near these islands. Had this information come from anyone other than Lynn, our former dive master and amateur pedicurist, I might have dismissed it. Lynn had spotted the elusive fish fleetingly in a deep chasm off of the Bubbles-LaRue wall. I knew this site well, so strange that I would be returning to a dive site that had been named for my second ex-wife many years before. I had met Bubbles at the Ooh La La room just off of Bourbon Street in New Orleans. So many strange coincidences. Had the fascinating tricks of fate have revealed themselves and guided me and my crew in the process of our expeditions. I cannot help but think that these voyages were preordained by some unknown power. If only this unknown power could help protect me from my treacherous ex-wives. We received news that our voyage would be delayed for 2 days due to the retrofit of new equipment for the Kalypso. The precisely engineered and machined components were taking longer to produce than anticipated. My mind wandered, preoccupied with this last delay. I had to get back on track. I had to stay focused. I had to remember the expedition. I must keep the expedition alive. Yes, staying alive. Staying alive. With the installation complete, we set sail once again. More disturbing news. Another bad omen. I had been informed that our faithful mascot, the Alsatian dog Scurvy, had gone missing. The loss of Scurvy was tempered by the joy of being at sea once again. The tinge of salt air, the gentle lapping of waves against the hull, and the delicate aroma of our cook Umberto's fresh taquitos con carne de perro wafting from the galley. Ah, Umberto, a master chef and miracle worker with our limited budget. A fine lunch would be a small reward for all the hard work of the crew thus far. The seas were calm. We soon lost our seagull escorts, and soon after that, the sight of land. The week ahead would allow the crew time for much needed rest and preparation of gear for the mission. It would also allow us to check out the newly installed equipment. As we neared the Turks and Caicos, we all knew the carefree days at sea would soon be replaced by the grueling search for the Chapeau Rouge. It was time to gather the crew on the bridge to discuss plans for the following day. Yes, I would be diving on Bubbles LaRue once again. The next day, we spot land. We would check in with customs and then proceed to our dive site. Let us hope that Lynn was correct and not just suffering from the inhalation of nail polish remover. Ah, the pitfalls of being an amateur pedicurist dive master. At least she never epoxied herself to an engine. Dive 1 would be limited to checking out our gear, our still photography cameras, our video units, and one unplanned repair. We're moving the small inflatable customs boat that had been wedged in our starboard rudder. Oh, the hijinks of my crew when fueled by too much absinthe. I worry about them. Luckily, the local customs officials are quite fond of the Soylent Green crackers we carry on board. After transferring several cases of our sponsor's product to the repaired customs boat, we engage the Kalypso's engines and are underway. Several hours later, we arrive at our destination. We choose a shallow section of the reef for our first dive. We all know how perilous a deep penetration of Bubbles LaRue can be. I more than the others. Jean-Claude is the first in. So anxious is he to begin the adventure. We are able to catch up to him after a brief search of the ocean bottom. It is soon apparent why Jean-Claude has chosen to be the first in. We avert our attention to a nearby sandy area until Jean-Claude can join us. After a half hour of testing, evaluating, and retesting the gear, we are all confident that it will perform even under the most stringent conditions. With our gear in good order and the crew greatly relieved, we will take a short break topside and then commence with our first true exploratory dive of the expedition. Each time I dive, it never ceases to amaze me how varied the ecosystem of the ocean is. A myriad of fishes and coral delight the eye. Shimmering soft corals appear to wave at us, beckoning to explore further. We will proceed, as always, with one quarry in mind, the Chapeau Rouge. The sound of my illegitimate father's voice ever present in the back of my mind. Oh, how confusing, since it is mostly in French. We find nothing on our first dive except for one small fish we name the Chapeau Bleu. We soon discover this small fish defends its territory by vomiting the entire contents of its stomach at approaching enemies. Messy, yet effective. Running low on air, we must resurface. Our next dive would be a bit deeper. Why have we never found this creature in all of my and my illegitimate father's voyages? Very strange. So many unanswered questions. More bizarre news greets us once we surface. Our diminutive ferret mascots, Chantel and Monsieur Pouf Pouf, have gone missing. A combined search by the concerned crew turns up nothing. We all gather in the galley, lured by the intoxicating aroma of Umberto's dinner for the evening. It would appear to be tiny veal cutlets. Soon we must return to the ocean bottom. Time is our enemy. Dive number 2 reveals that the ocean has transformed once again. Shadows are stripped away like so many multicolored balloons popped on Bubbles LaRue's costume at the Ooh La La room. Frustration. The Chapeau Rouge still eludes us, like the popping of the final balloon. My mind wanders, fueled by the sparkling waters that envelop me. I think about my illegitimate father. He accomplished so much and educated so many about the watery realms of our planet. How fragile it all is. How we are all stewards of it and the terrestrial portions we call home. Why is it we do not call the ocean home as well? Childhood memories flood back. Flashes of my bizarre dreams. It appears I have dived a little too deep and am suffering hallucinations. I return to the reality of my watery surroundings, nudged gently back by a nibble at my bandana. What could it be? Before I can look, a sea turtle glides into view, distracting my attention. The nibble once more. It is the Chapeau Rouge. It is just as I have pictured it. The joy. The Chapeau Rouge has found me. Fate has once again stepped in, perhaps. Or could it be a message from my illegitimate father? What does the future hold? My only hope for the future is that my treacherous ex-wives and their hijinks will not be involved.